touch the skies. Cheltenham town and forest green, Gloucester City stands so keen. Talk of the county, loud and clear.
Good morning. I am your host, Daniel Hopkins. Welcome to another episode of Talk of the County, brought to you by Traffic Safety Management Ltd, experts in traffic management, local depot in Gloucester, but support projects all around the UK. TSM keeps the roads moving safely day and night, offering local operatives a great career prospect and in a socially driven company that generally looks after its people and the communities they serve. To find out more, visit www.tsmltd.co.uk. We've got the usual today. We've got Cheltenham Town panellist Chris Hughes. Good morning, Chris.
Morning.
We've got Dave Jones. Morning, Dave.
Morning.
And we got Sean Baker, bright-eyed and looking beautiful. Good morning, Sean.
Morning, lads.
He's been on nights. He's very tired, isn't he, Sean?
Oh,
Yeah.
bless him.
Let's jump straight into it. Well, let's go around the grounds with Chris Hughes.
We are going to talk of the counties around the grounds by Chris Howes.
Yeah, well remembered, Dan. Let's go around the grounds. Brought to you by BAM Recruitment. They find better matches than most managers in a January transfer window. Whether it's temporary or permanent, they put the right people in the right positions. Engineering, construction and operational. No VAR needed. Check them out below. First up, the ladies, where there was a county derby in the Cup, which saw Gloucester City take on Cheltenham Town at the KMM Stadium. And it was Gloucester who opened the scoring just after half-time with a stunning free kick from Maggie Neal. Half-time sub Louise Guymira levelled things up 10 minutes later. Guymira then turned provider, crossed into Bella Hall to put Cheltenham 2-1 up. And then she grabbed her second goal of the game in the 87th minute. Gloucester pulled one back 2 minutes into injury time through Cassidy Gray, but Cheltenham held on to take the 3 points in the County Cup Group A. Forest Green were away at Frampton Rangers, but fell to a 3-1 defeat. Their goal coming from Amelie Birchley. Forest Green's game against Pucklechurch later today has been postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Gloucester are away at Frampton Rangers, and Cheltenham are also away at Oxford United later today. Moving to the Southern League Division 1 South, Cleve's midweek match with AFC Brixham got postponed, but they were in league action yesterday, falling to a 3-1 defeat at home to Malvern Town. Hartpury had no midweek game either, and yesterday they were also home facing Larkhall Athletic, where they cruised to a 5-0 victory. No midweek game for Cleve next week, but they face Melksham Town on Saturday. Hartpury are at home to Didcot on Tuesday before they travel to Shaftesbury on Saturday. Couple of midweek games for the Hellenic Premier Division clubs last week, including a county derby between Fairford and Long Levens in the Floodlit Cup, which saw Long Levens come out on top, winning 2-1 with goals from Alex Knight and Ben Lodge, with Sol Price scoring for Fairford. Elsewhere, Tuffley lost 4-3 to Cribbs in the Cup on Tuesday. Yesterday, Tuffley lost 3-2 away at Highworth Town. Also losing away were Long Levens, who fell to a 4-2 defeat to Worcester Raiders. Cinderford won 3-1 at home against Pershore. And there were two county derbies, with Lydney hosting Cirencester, which ended 1-1 with a Matt Green penalty for Lydney, cancelling out Reece Wells' first half strike for Cirencester. Finally, promotion hopeful Slimbridge hosted Fairford Town in an epic game that finished 7-3 to Fairford. Slimbridge did go 2-0 up with goals from Oliver Barnes and Jack William-Smith. Tommy Aldridge pulled one back for Fairford before Harrison Edwards levelled the game. Edwards added his second and completed his hat-trick before half-time, making the score 4-2 at the break. Bradley Hooper got Fairford's fifth 5 minutes into the second half before Regan Cook was sent off for Fairford for a stamp. Fairford then bagged a sixth through Elliot Haffenden. Aaron Evans-Harrier got one back for Slimbridge, but Wayne Ndearmy sealed the result in the 92nd minute for Fairford. And that's the roundup from around the grounds. Back over to you, Dan.
Thanks, Chris. Let's start with Gloucester City. Dave, how did you see the game yesterday?
What we needed. It's disappointing to concede late. Should have been a clean sheet, really. But yeah, it's what we needed. 3 points. Didn't say it's the best performance, really, but we it was reasonably comfortable. Didn't really threaten that much, and 3 points. A very important one with the results elsewhere. It was a good day. Good day at the office. Yeah.
Definitely was. Before we go into yesterday's game, Dave, before the game, 2 new signings were announced. Jamal Mohammed from West Bromwich Albion and Riley Siddle from Gloucester City, Coventry City. What can you tell us about them?
Yeah, both look decent. The lad at the back started 6'5", only 19, but very, very assured. Reading what a few West Brom fans have been saying about him, there was some saying that he should be in their first team squad now. They rate him that highly. He was progressing well through the youth, and then did his ACL. So he was out for a while. He's been back playing for the under-21s, and they've obviously sent him out to get some man's football. But yeah, he looked a class act. Yeah, remember the name. I can see him forging a decent career in the league. Classy on the ball, composed, Cundy-esque, good in the air, plays the ball out. Yeah, very good player. Excellent addition. And the lad from Coventry looked decent as well, tidy. Didn't see quite as much of him, but yeah, he looked good. And the other lad making his debut on loan from Merthyr Tydfil played very well as well.
Yes.
We're really lacking in defenders, especially fullbacks, to the point where yesterday we had Kieran Thomas, a centre forward, playing at wing back for us, because we were really. But he did really well, actually. He really, really well, and he got a goal as well. So really good. Pleased to see Kieran back on the score sheet. But could look like 3 really good additions, just what we needed. And with a few players coming back soon, I think we're all well set for an exciting running.
Yeah, so much needed reinforcements for Gloucester then, Dave. So let's go on to the game. City started well. Dave, as you said, didn't really have a lot of chances, but Wall did hit the post quite early on.
Yeah, hit the post with a good strike from about 15 yards, I should imagine, and the ball came right back out to somebody who then got there first, but didn't quite get a decent connection on it, and the keeper smothered it. But yeah, that was unlucky not to go one up there, but we did eventually.
Yeah, 7 minutes later, you take the lead. Marcus Day gets the ball outside the box and curls it in. Good finish.
Yeah, classic Marcus Day finish. It's a carbon copy of probably 2 or 3 goals he scored for us now. Operates on the left, but predominantly right-footed. Gets the ball, beats his man, turns inside, and then stroked a beautiful right-footed curling shot inside the side net, and keeper didn't move. Yeah, good finish.
Yeah, how important was it, Dave, for City to get an early start? I know we talked about Tiverton at the bottom of the league, so it's even worth the expectation was there for City to go on and win.
Yeah, I think it was very important to get that first goal. I mean, Tiverton, bless them, must be used to conceding the first goal. But to be fair to them, their heads never dropped. They were a good team for us to play, really, because they didn't sit with a low block. They really came to play football, and credit to them. They gave it a good go, but I think just a little bit of class in the last third towards the difference. But yeah, they give it a good go. But we did what we needed to do.
I suppose in a way with sides like Tiverton, people will think they'll come and play a low block, but you're at the part of the season now, aren't you, where teams can't afford to just sit back for a point. They need points on the board.
Yeah,
so
yeah. And they tried. They really tried that. They passed the ball around, got it forward, and it was quite an even game for large parts. But we, as I say, like in the final third, we just had that cutting edge that we could make it pay and come away with the win.
Yeah, but that took you into half time. Like possession wise, it was pretty dominant by City, but as you said, it was quite quiet on terms of chances.
Wasn't a lot of chances. It was mainly possession. around the halfway line, passing it around nicely, but not really creating any clear-cut chances apart from Wildings and the goal, really. I don't think we troubled their keeper in the first half, apart from that.
Yeah. And it's so into the second half. So like I say, you go in 1-0. Second half was a bit stop and start, but it took to the 78th minute for Joe Hanks, who gets his 10th goal of the season, to take 2 goals up.
When it gets to 70 minutes and you're only 1-0 up, you're starting to turn to the person next to you and say, I can see what's going to happen here, because we haven't got that second goal cushion, and we're starting to think, no, we can't do it like we did at Evesham away, and we would absolutely fully deserve to win the game and then give something stupid away late on. So yeah, it was quite a relief. With Kieran released down the left hand side with a nice ball inside the fullback, got away from his man. Perfect cross into the 6-yard box, and Hanksy does what he does best and arrived perfect time and just poked it past the keeper. Trademark celebration, and it was a big relief when that second one went in.
I say a big relief, and also for Hanksy as well, because he's got. I wouldn't say he's gone off the boil, because obviously there's.
He's had a bit of a break. He hasn't scored for a little while, so it's good to see him. Good to see him get one.
Was he playing at top yesterday, Dave? Was he playing? He was at top.
Yeah.
Because his return's been really good for Gloucester this season, hasn't he, in terms of goals wise?
Yeah. I mean, he's great for us, Hanksy. He's Mr. Gloucester City, but he was up front, as a sort of a lone striker, really, initially with a back five, but later on in the game, Dab switched it round a bit and put Kieran up top with him, so we had 2 up front, and it paid dividends.
Yeah. And then obviously you say about obviously waiting to that, the 78th minute to get that second goal to kind of relax you. But as you know, 2-0's still quite a tricky score. So 5 minutes to go.
It's the most dangerous scoreline, isn't it? Apart from 1-0 and drawing or losing.
Yeah. Because they always say, don't they, when you're 2-0 up, you get that 1 goal back, then the other team started rocking and saying, but yeah, 5 minutes to go. Phillips, who, as you said, started it right back, then finished the game up top, but puts the game to bed 3-0.
Yeah, so not too dissimilar from the second goal, just the other way around. I'm not sure I haven't seen the highlights of that one yet. It's caught up in the emotion of the occasion. I can't remember who put the ball across to him, but it was a ball across the 6-yard box. He got there first and poked it in, and he looked absolutely delighted. Yeah, I was really pleased for him, because he's a great lad and he's a really good player, but he's not been going his way this season. But he went away to Larkhall, scored some goals, come back, and he gets put right back. He must be blown his mind, but he got further up the field. Although he was a wing back. He was more of a winger really than a defender when he was in the early parts of the game. But yeah, it was lovely to see him get his goal, and 3-0. Obviously we're all looking at our mobile devices and monitoring the scores at the other games, and see that Gosport have conceded and Solent have conceded and Poole have beaten Walton and Hersham, and then a little devil on your shoulder starts makes thinking, wondering if it's possible after all.
But then obviously in the 95th minute, Tiverton get a goal back. It kind of, you can tell, but we're going to get on to Daft's faults in a minute, but you can tell it takes a little bit of the gloss off, because that clean sheet was important, and to concede really late was disappointing.
But at the end of the day, it's one goal difference. You still get 3 points. It's not the end of the world. It's a pride thing, isn't it, keeping a clean sheet?
Gotta say, I was absolutely delighted they scored.
I bet you was.
When they scored, I was looking at my watch, because I had on our other predictor, our money one, I had 4-1. So then but they were literally they scored, kicked off, and the referee blew the whistle immediately. So I didn't get a chance to get my my fourth goal to get my win on the predictor. But good result. Made even better by other results around us.
Yeah, we'll get on to them now, because as you said, it turned out to be a good day again for City. One player I want to just quickly talk about, Dave, is Simpson. He came in, set the world alight, scored, something like 5 goals in his first 5 games.
Yeah,
gone a bit quiet. He wasn't in the squad yesterday.
No, he's I believe he's away. I think he had a some pre-booked arrangement when he joined us that he was not going to be available for a couple of games, and he's back soon, I believe. I was being talked to the chairman this morning, and he's not sure if he's back for Tuesday, but he'll be definitely back for next Saturday. So, we've got a few players returning. Kieran Thomas is really close to being back. He should be back next week. Dylan Jones should be back for Tuesday, I believe. So yeah, it's starting to look a bit rosier on the selection front. Daft's going to have some more decisions to make.
How many have you still got out suspended, Dave?
Ellis Watts, that was his last game suspension, so he's back Tuesday. So I think Leds now is the only one that's haven't really got a date for to be back, and then we'll have apart from him, I think by next Saturday we'll have a few back for Tuesday, but I think by next Saturday we should have a full complement with the exception of Leds. So it's starting to look a lot more positive.
Overdue a red card, surely.
Pardon?
You're overdue a red card, surely.
Well, yeah.
Do you know when I do my analysis at the end, that's the first thing I look for is a red card. Nope, they've got past that one this week. Let's get on to the game. But yeah, so let's talk about the results that went your way yesterday, Dave. And the big one again, you know, we've sat here over the last few weeks, especially over the Christmas period, saying the league had gone.
Yeah.
But Walton Horsham, two defeats in a row, now 10 points behind them, having to go there on Tuesday.
Yeah, we beat them on Tuesday. I mean, it's a big if, but if we can go there on Tuesday and beat them, and that puts us 7 points behind. And we're playing them last game of the season at home. So,
did they lose yesterday?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they played Poole.
They're going to want to bounce back, then, aren't they?
They were two. Well, they lost to Weymouth the game before, they lost to Poole yesterday. They went 2-0 down, and then Poole had a man sent off. So then you're thinking, this is, they're going to come back. And they did get one back, but Poole held on. And so I was in mixed. I didn't really know what I wanted in that game, because if you do accept that Walton and Hersham are in an assailable position, then really we could have done with Poole dropping points to help our quest for second. But let's be optimistic. If we win, go on a good run and win, then there's no reason at all. If they've only got to slip up in another one or two games, and then if we can beat them on Tuesday, then all you're hoping for really is to set up that grand finale on the last day at Meadow Park. If we were within 2 points of them, then who knows? But all we can do is keep winning ourselves. And
You talk about that, Dave, about Walton and Hersham. Obviously the main thing for you guys is you're going to want to. You're still going to try and win the league, and like you said, you go there Tuesday and win. That's down to 7 points. Then you've got money into the season. So let's take another 3 off. That's down to 4. If you can, But I know results will happen between them. But this is their first wobble, isn't it? They've been so
very much so. They've been absolutely relentless. They've just been churning out win after win after win. But then they drew against Hungerford 0-0, and then so they're on a little wobble. It has to happen to every club. I mean, it's not a major wobble. It's 2 games, isn't it? But
do you know if they've lost many players recently? Because I know the manager left,
but I think they lost just the one so far.
Okay.
But obviously different manager. So who knows? Let's go there on Tuesday, give it a right go. We've got some players back, and see what we can do.
Yeah,
we've got a coach running down there, so there'll be a good number down there, backing them. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. So this is your moment here, Dave. You won't get these moments very often. 1,212 on the gate, only 20 fewer than what Forest Green had on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's disappointing, really. At this point in the tense, the weather was pretty dreadful. I think it put a few people off. But the last 3 games before that, we've averaged over 1,500. So let's drop that down a little bit. But yeah, we're still averaging 1,200 for the season. So, and that's only going to go up if at the business end of the season we're going to have some pretty big games coming up. So it's not a huge difference, is it?
Sean's fuming that with you, Dan.
And to be fair, I was going
for
to
picking a Tuesday night game as well. I love that.
I was actually going to pay Sean some credit, because if that was me, I would have tried to stay quiet and move on, let know it. But he chucked it in the group chat and he was like, "Dave, that's really poor, 1,212." So he checked the banter in there. So fair play to him. We got anything to say, Sean, about that?
No, not really.
Let's go on to Daft's thoughts then. He obviously said the priority was to stop the little rot, and he said it's only been 3 games. He said, but it was a little rot on compared to your standards. And as you said, Dave, it was important, wasn't it, to stop that rot coming in?
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
Getting that win yesterday, obviously you got Warnersham on Tuesday, and you got Shoalin next Saturday. So it's obviously going to be a really big week for Gloucester. We'll probably have a bit of an idea, won't we, by the end of next week?
I'd say so.
Where you're going to be.
Yeah, I'd say.
He said he wanted a bit. He said you were a little bit more resilient and compacted. He said, but we set up to be that way. So it might be where people might be thinking, you myself, I think I predicted you to win 5-0 or something like that. That might be why the game was a bit compact, because I think he's set up to
win it.
To win it, but not be so open.
At all costs, yeah.
Yeah. Said disappointing not to keep the clean sheet. As we said, he really wanted that yesterday. Luckily it was 3-1, but deep down he's going to be pleased, isn't he? He's got the win.
Yeah, he's got to be, hasn't he? 3 points is what we went for, and 3 points is what we came away with. So yeah, mission accomplished.
Yeah, he talked about Mohammed and the lad from Coventry. He said that we're not going to just bring any players in, and we're not good enough. He said, so what we have brought in, he's really pleased with. But like you said, there's three signings you've made in the last week, Dave.
Yeah.
Had to change things to get the momentum, as second half the goal was important. And like you've already said that, the 17th minute left you hanging on a little bit. 2 huge games coming up, like we said, which is Tuesday and Saturday. Praise the fans, which again, you said that the attendance was down, Dave, 1,200, but still a good turnout. Wet, cold.
Yeah.
Cold day. Praise the fans. Again, you went on to praise the fans, just saying that this is what the club's about, what he's trying to build, and the fans keep turning up. Injuries and suspensions have played a part, but the squad's getting back to full strength, and that's the important bit, isn't it? It's giving him more options. Definitely.
Yeah, getting players back is paramount. We've been playing players out of position. It must have been a real headache for him actually sitting down and trying to work out a team when he hasn't got any players in certain positions, and he's having to make do and mix and match and move people about. So yeah, it'll make his life an awful lot easier when we've got a full complement back, and it doesn't sound like we're very far away from that at all. Kieran Thomas is going to be like a new signing. He's such a good, solid captain, fullback. Having him back is going to really, really make a difference, I think.
Yeah, and he did finish off saying that there was an illness in the camp, and the question I had down here was that for Simpson, but you've answered about the Simpson question, which is which is ironic, but again, like you said, the guy was out of contract at Taunton, was it?
Yeah,
he went to
he left Taunton and then had something booked in. I don't know whether it was booked in previously to that, and he had an agreement with Taunton, but Duff was aware when Kane came in that there was going to be a couple of games he wasn't available for. So it is what it is, isn't it? And we've got through it. So be back soon, hopefully, with his scoring boots on.
Yeah, brilliant. That's Gloucester City. Thanks, Dave.
Pleasure.
Let's go on to Forest Green Rovers. Sean, how did you see the game?
What, Tuesday night?
Tuesday night, yeah. Against Altrincham.
First half, not great. Obviously, I thought we was a little bit too open for the goal. I've sort of said what I think about that. And then second half, we're a lot better. But yeah, I think we were missing Ricardo Reis. Obviously, the whole reason he was brought in was to score goals, and that's what we've been struggling with when he hasn't been in the team.
Yeah. Let's go into the game then. So, I watched the game. I've had a discussion with Robbie Savage since, and I believe he thinks that I'm way off it. But I'm the way I saw the game, Sean, and again,
No change from normal, Dan, by the way.
But this is it. But I don't need people to tell me that. I thought Altrincham started really well after the first 10 minutes. Forest Green were on the front foot and they pressed. But I thought once Altrincham got a grip of the game after 10 minutes, they passed the ball around really quickly, Sean, didn't they? And it was some nice football they played.
Yeah, they did. Obviously, like I said, I was disappointed in the manner that we conceded the goal. They had way too much space. I know we were trying to press them high. Obviously, Elijah went in and done his bit, but then it left a massive space for their guy out on the side. They had the whole field, and then he somehow manages every ball that goes forward at the moment. Just I don't know. It seems to drop to the opposition players, but even that, like the guy that scored that smashed it in, I just thought Carnu was asleep there. Didn't get out to him to try and close him down. I just watching us at the moment, we don't seem to be closing down shots or crosses quickly, anywhere near quick enough. And I think that's caused it's a bit of a problem, regardless of how well we do play.
Again, this is more like maybe a defence for Forest Green, like to the fact that maybe Altrincham, because obviously they haven't won in 6 games, Sean, maybe Altrincham caught you off guard a bit, because I thought they was quite open and expansive. And you said like about the goal, yes, it was like 3 touches in the back, but it was what they had started the game doing. They was playing from the back, and it was the ball out wide, in behind, ball comes in, and the lad finishes it. Now, I'm pretty sure if that was a Cheltenham Town goal, Gloucester City goal, even a Forest Green Rovers goal, Robbie would have been on. The goal was fantastic.
To be fair, Robbie did say, I'm pretty sure he said in his thing, it was a well worked goal by Altrincham. The way they did knock it around, but I think we helped them in that respect. Like I said, I was more fuming with the result than that goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But obviously, you said that they take the lead, and it seemed like Rovers were struggling to get a grip of their formation. But it did seem that Rover, I can't remember the player who went down injured, but someone went down injured, and it looked like Robbie changed the formation. And I think he alludes to that in his press conference after that. I had to change a few things, and it seemed like you got a bit of a grip of the game going forward. So Rover's first chance of the game came to Maka, and their keeper saved really well, didn't he? Tipped it around the post. I thought did it hit the post, Sean, or did he tip it around the post? I thought he tipped it onto the post, maybe.
Not too sure. You'd probably have to ask them or get a better angle.
Yeah.
It obviously Maka does what he does, but he hasn't. I can't remember the last time he scored.
The game before last at Sutton, a penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, but I mean like open play.
Open play. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, man. I got it wrong anyway. So the game
one of our best players this season, and
Sean, are you sure you follow Forest Green?
Yeah, sorry, mate. It's hard to remember Tuesday night games when you've had a Saturday game.
Yeah, obviously Maka scores. Deb scores as a chance tipped around the post. But like I say, Rovers were coming back into the game bit, but Altrincham was still looked very dangerous in that first half. And every time they was going forward, they
like I said, I think first half we struggled, and didn't look that great at all. I think, like you said, Robbie changed the formation, which then suited us. I'm not going to obviously dig any players out, but I just think some players are just struggling to fit into the team.
Did you think that he made a mistake in the initial selection then?
I don't think he made a mistake in the initial selection. To be fair, obviously we've had players obviously missing like through injury and suspension, but we've got some big players that have come in and they haven't quite cut it, which is a surprise.
Well, I think you say about the maybe mistaking the selection, but I think you get to half time, he takes Kenji off, he takes Elijah Morrison off, and they're both down your left hand side, and that was where Altman were getting their luck, wasn't they?
Yeah, I was going to say I think we were struggling down that side, so he had to make some sort of change on that side to try and obviously stop it. Obviously, that was Morrison's, I think, his sort of second game, played against Sutton. It might take him a few games to sort of really come in and, you know, find his feet, I think. So he's only a young lad, do you know what I mean? So you ain't gonna blame him.
No, you know, it's the same as any player, isn't it? When they're out on their first loans, that it's going to take them a while to get into what proper football is, not under 21s football, what the hustle and bustle of first team football is. He took Nick Alton and Tom Knowles off pretty quick, Sean, and that was around about the 53rd minute. But this is when I think Forest Green then dominated the second half in terms of possession wise and having a real go. So it does show that Robbie can spot where things are going wrong in a game, and he changed the formation, he changed the personnel, and then Forest Green got on the front foot.
Yeah, well, I think we sort of said, like, I think I've said that before. Like, he ain't scared to change it. Like, he will, if the games aren't going how they should be, generally he changes it at half time. Obviously, like you say, he's changed that just after half time. So he's obviously sort of given the players the opportunity to go out there, I guess, and get it right. And it obviously hasn't happened. So he's had to make the changes quite early in the second half. Obviously, we've then got on top, but it's just the same old story, isn't it? You know, don't score and you don't win the games. And that's you know, I think I've been saying that since we started the podcast. There's not been many games that we haven't, you know, where we've been like outplayed and not had chances. Maybe once.
Well, I've said a few times, Sean, and you know, I've had many conversations with Robbie, and I've said, look, you know, at the end of the day, you're creating chances. So if you was playing poorly and not creating chances, you've got a problem. But when does it become a problem? When you keep, you know, you keep getting yourself on the front foot and you keep missing chances. You say we brought in Ricardo Reis to help out with that, but you can't put all the pressure on one player, can you?
No. Like that's what I've tried to not do. Where I think other people.
I think you quoted he was £1 million player yesterday.
Well, yeah. No, but I mean, like when he came here, I was trying to not get too much onto him, or I didn't want to compare him to say like an Ollie Pearce or a Regan Linney. I think he could be that sort of player, but it's obviously early days. But yeah, I mean, like I said, then he's not always going to be available, and I think sometimes you've got to try and find other ways to win. But I think it is hard because, you know, like I said, Robbie spoke about like player and, you know, football intelligence, and you question sometimes when they shoot and things like that. And the problem at the moment is when we do shoot, you know, we're not getting anywhere near the goal half the time.
I did think Wednesday night
certain players are and certain players aren't. So
do you think it might be the pressure of, you know, let's go back to when we you know, because it'd been good to get your opinion on this. Let's go back to when we interviewed Robbie back at the beginning of the season when we first started the pod, and we spoke. It was just after the Carlisle game, sorry. And we put to Robbie a couple of times. Do you think that maybe because of the way Forest Green are going, and there's nothing wrong with the way Forest Green are going, because some of the players you're bringing in, some of them are really decent players. But do you think they going and playing in front of the bigger crowds, going and playing in these high tense games in terms of where the end result is 98% of people expect Forest Green to be in the playoffs or go up automatically? Do you think that might be affecting some players, and this is why they're snatching at opportunities in games?
Not sure, really. I would have thought they'd like to play in front of the bigger crowds, for sure.
Well, every player does, doesn't they?
Yeah, probably.
Why did they join
I
Forest
think-
Green then?
I think the thing is we've, like he's sort of made it clear we've recruited a lot of players, and most of them have come from lower down the leagues. So although teams expect us to be up there, you got to remember, like, there's teams like York who have been, their teams more or less been together now for like 2 or 3 years. Even like Bournemouth and Scunthorpe have come up together and stuck together, and they're all sort of, I don't want to say more established, but they've been together a lot longer. So I think part of that could just be, next year we could be a different animal. I know it's easy to say sat here now, but I just think it's hard when you bring so many players in and then kind of make it click.
Here's a
That's
question
why I
for
say
you.
next year, but
Here's a question for you, and again, maybe it's something better for Robbie to answer, because obviously a side was put together last season, which, despite what you said, wasn't a bad side because you finished third, behind York and Barnet, who Barnet ran away with the league. Would it have been better to add a bit more quality and then build? If because Rob has said a few times in his press conferences, we're ahead of where we want to be, but where you want to be is in the Football League, because listen, we had a big discussion last week about budgets, and every club who does well has a decent budget. 9 times out of 10, you get the odd one, i.e. Cheltenham Town, who might get promoted on a shoestring budget, but 9 times out of 10, the teams who have the bigger budgets, you look at League Two this season, the ones who are out there, the ones who've got the massive budgets. National League, you look at from first all the way down to just before Halifax entered to you, so first or sixth, all of them have got decent budgets this season. Do you think it might have been, and this is an hindsight, do you think it might have been better to use a bit of what you had from Cots last season and add to where you was lacking last season? Then you can build, it might have got you, but you're not way off it, Sean, are you? You still with a chance.
I think it's a good question and it's a good debate to have, but I think everybody's probably, everyone will see it different. So like, I think Rob has said it a few times. I think he said it when we interviewed him, that Dale wanted everything changed. He wanted, the style of football, the culture of the club, everything he wanted changed. And I think, so Rob is obviously, and he wanted a young sort of exciting team. I think some people will say, yeah, maybe it would have been good to have kept some of them experienced heads and then add to it gradually. But obviously the ones that make them decisions, they've thought it would be better to go out and get the younger sort of inexperienced players now. And I think that's why although looking from the outside, people think there's pressure on us to go up, I don't think there is from the inside, because they know what they've done and what they want and where they want to get to. So that's why I don't think this season is, it's not a be all or end all whether we go up. If we go up, it'd be great, and obviously everyone will love it. But I think next year is where it really probably be a bit more pressure for us.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the game. But you get the equaliser in the 60th minute. Clark gets the goal. He had a chance pretty much similar just before that, didn't he? And this one rifled into the bottom corner. Yeah,
Clark's a weird player. He seems to just he's a good player, and he seems to he scores some good goals from outside the box. He's had a fair few of them this season. obviously, every now and again he does it. I don't know whether he's just not fit enough, or I think, like I said, Robbie and that look at the games and they try and pick the best team for the games. But yeah, he's a good player, and he's he's done that sort of finish a few times. I actually quite like him.
It was a good.
And I
It was a
thought
good
from then
strike.
that was where it was all going to change for us, and we was going to go on and win it quite comfortably, but it just didn't work out.
It was the only. I thought it was the only place in that goal where you could have put that for that to go in, because it was there. It was congested in there, wasn't it? And the keeper was obviously covering his front post. So to where he put it, it was a cracking finish. But Rovers, they battered him second half in terms of like the possession. You had loads of corners. I think that keeper made a lot of saves. You had let's talk about the corners, Sean. It was very disappointing for Rovers' point of view. There was a lot of over hits, wasn't there?
Yeah. Judging by a lot of people had the same opinion. They wanted to know like what our set pieces are, because they've not been great. Corners, free kicks, and I think Wasteley, I'm pretty certain a few of them corners just went straight out, didn't they? They just went straight through
For a goal kick or a throw in,
yeah. And it is disappointing when you have that many. I mean, and you can't capitalise on at least one of them. It is disappointing. And I do think, in a way, and I always say it, and I think that's where we miss Innes. He's been injured. He's had two sort of longish injuries now, so he's been out for a fair old while, but he's just a mountain of a man, isn't he? And that's probably one of his where you can sort of utilise him a little bit better.
Yeah, we had a discussion in the week, didn't we, about Innes, and I'm in agreement with you. I think he's one of those defenders who, ironically, he'll save you a few points at the right end because of how big he is, but he'll also win you those points at the other end when you're pushing like this. There was 6 minutes added on Tuesday night, and disappointingly for Rovers, didn't really look like it was going to score in that. It seemed to tail off. Where if you had an Innes, you could have been lumping the ball into that box, and he'd been winning a few.
I can't remember what game who it was now, but he scored. He scored from I'm sure it was a corner when he thundered it in. It come in and he smashed it in the near post in with his head. And I just think that's just what he gives you. But like I said, you can't always just rely on that one player. Like Innes, he's like 6'6". Sometimes I still think your deliveries can be better if you haven't got that tall person in there. Then just whip them in low and hard and hope it hits somebody, whether it's an own goal or not.
Yeah.
I think I think you've got to be a little bit smarter when you take them.
Yeah, and obviously I know he's out for a few weeks, isn't he, Innes? So
I think it was 5 or 6 weeks. I'm not sure what game that brings us back to, but we probably could have done with him being back for this horrible run that we got coming up in February.
Yeah, it's a monster, isn't it? On to Robert's thoughts from Wednesday night. Obviously, Sean, in the week there was a lot of talk about that Hearts come in for Mendy and made a bid. Now, me and you have discussed this. Hearts are it don't matter what level you play from League One down in England. If Hearts come in for you, you're going to listen, aren't you? And do you think Mendy might have been having that conversation with Robbie, saying, "Look, love working for you. We've been together for 4 years, but top of the Scottish Premiership, chance of maybe playing Champions League football next season." You wouldn't blame him if it turned his head, would you?
Obviously, I don't know facts, but my opinion is I wouldn't be surprised, if he was having that conversation. I think he'd be silly not to. I think like you've touched on there, and I think I said it to you in the week. They're a massive club, sitting top of the Premiership. In a few months' time, they could be lifting the Premiership. Like you said, they could be playing Champions League football. I mean, when you're a lower end, when you're down the lower end of the pyramid, that's a dream, innit? To do that, you won't. For players in the Premier League and stuff, it's especially top end of the Premier League and that they can.
It could
It's
be a
not that bad,
reality,
but
couldn't it?
yeah,
The
but
reality could be there.
when you're down this end, it's a lot different. And I wouldn't blame him. If he was, he's come in, he's been immense. He's 28, 29. You may not get, or it's very unlikely you're going to get that opportunity again. To be fair, I'd be banging on Robbie's door myself if it was me. So I would expect him to as well.
Yeah. But obviously Robbie has come out and he said that they haven't met the valuation, so he will be staying. I suppose the most important thing now is for Mendy to just get his head down and concentrate on what the end goal is for Forest Green and play his football.
He seems to have done that. Like, obviously, Robbie said in the last couple of games, like, it's not sort of phased him. He's come in and he's put in a good performance, and to be fair to him, fair play. I mean, it must be tough, like, mentally, to sort of not know you're not going to get that chance, and then carry on like you were before. I mean, that just shows what sort of person he is, I guess. I mean, a lot of people can throw their toys out the pram and sulk about it, and he's just cracking on. I do feel sorry for him. Like I said, it's a great opportunity. In a selfish point of view, I'm happy as well because he's a cracking player. He's not one that you sort of want to miss, especially a few months into the season. But yeah, coming to the valuation, everyone knows we don't need the money. And he's under a long contract from what I believe. So yeah, if you want a player, you need to pay up, really.
Pay the money, yeah, definitely. And another one which has also been touted about this week, in terms of interest, was McAllister. Now, McAllister's I don't like having favourite Forest Green players, but I have to watch a lot of your football, and he is my favourite player of Forest Green. In terms of, I like him, and I'm not surprised he's got interest. One was from Gillingham and Oldham. It's definitely not going to be Oldham because I was talking to Oldham fans only last week, and they said that they're skint. They'd be surprised if they bring anybody in. Gillingham, yeah, well, I don't see him going to Gillingham, but Gillingham have got money behind him, but they've just signed Antwi from Newport. But the one which may be a concern for you, Sean, if it doesn't go away, is Dundee. Maybe a chance for the lad to move back closer to home and again, Scottish Premiership.
Dundee United, Daniel, we'll have to get that right because I got a load of stick from their fans on X.
Is it Dundee United, was it?
I called him Dundee on Peter Rook's tweet, and then all their fans just started like literally abusing me for calling them Dundee. But yeah, it's Dundee United.
I'm the same as you, Sean, because I thought Peter Rook put.
Well, I
Dundee
just said it. I just said Dundee, like as in because their name is Dundee, but they get really, really offensive if you say.
I would have called him Dundee United, but I thought it was Dundee.
Yeah, no, it's Dundee United.
No, he does put it Dundee United on his tweet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Macca's a cracking player. I'm surprised we've kept hold of him this long. I think he signed a new deal under David Horseman. And that was a surprise in itself. But realistically, I think out of them three teams, yeah, Dundee would be the only one that concerns me. Oldham and Gillingham, for me, zero chance. I know they've been taken over and all that, but the transfer fee that would command, plus the wages on top of that, I think even Gillingham would struggle. It's my opinion. Again, we don't need to sell. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty certain he's got a club option as well. So he's technically got 18 months left.
Robbie's confirmed that the club's got an option to extend.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That was on
it's 18 months left. So a lot of their fans were like, oh, he's out of contract in the summer. And I didn't want to bang it all on my posts because I wasn't 100% sure. But
yeah, it was on a pod.
And he had technically 18 months. So yeah, again, if you're going to want to play at that caliber, you're going to have to pay up. And I still don't see anyone doing that either.
No. Yeah,
the problem is when teams need to sell, you can kind of negotiate the price, but Forest Green don't need to sell. So that's where I think, having
the valuation.
Dale's quite, Dale will stick to his guns and he won't sell unless it is a stupid offer.
Yeah. Now, Robbie on the pod a few weeks ago, and I mean a few weeks ago, when I asked him the same question, are you worried about losing McAllister? And he said on that pod that Forest Green have an option, so he's not worried.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I know I
before
do it already somewhere.
So before we get on to yesterday's game, just before you announced a new signing, Jay Mingy on loan from Stockport. Had a youth career at West Ham and Charlton. His pro career has been at Portsmouth, Maidenhead, Colchester, Stockport, and he had a loan spell this season at Crewe. He's not played a lot of games for a 25-year-old, Sean, but there is a player there. I remember Jay Mingy when he went to Portsmouth and the hype around him. His most games came at Colchester, played 25 times at Colchester, but he's not played a lot of football. Is that a concern, or is it open?
Yeah, when we announced him, I was buzzing because I got him muddled up with a completely different player. So there's a player at Luton, Ted and Mengi, I think his name was, and I was thinking, and then I googled it, and then I saw that I was looking at a completely different player. But yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about him. Obviously, he's been up and around the Football League and a little bit, and sometimes I think players they sort of take a step down and fresh start, and it might do him the world of good. So looking forward to see how he gets on. Really,
yeah.
I don't really. It's hard. I don't like judging players before I've seen them for myself because, like I said, when we signed Harry Oystead, he got a lot of stick from fans online, and I think what we've seen at Forest Green's the complete opposite. He's been quite good for us, really. So yeah, I like to sort of judge him for myself, really. So it'd be good to see how he gets on over the next few games, especially in this tough run we got coming up.
Yeah,
obviously dreading that one.
Well, the one comment I seen from a Colchester fan was, "Oh my God, what's happened to Mengi?" Fall from grace, if you like, dropping in the Football League. He did go on loan to Crewe. I didn't speak, but I sent a Crewe fan tweet and just said, if the lad can stay fit, Forest Green have got a great player, but the problem is keeping him fit. And it only seems since he's left Colchester, doesn't it, that he hasn't played a lot of games. So like you said, dropping down might be that fresh start for him.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, really. Sometimes you go somewhere, you have a fresh start. I mean, when did he join Colchester? In the summer? In September?
No, I think 23. Hang on. I think it was 2023. I think he started. He was there. Here we go. 24 season. He played 11. 23-24 season. Played 25 games, scored 1 goal. Then he went to Stockport in 24, played 11 times with them, went out onto loan to Crewe, played 6 times. And then now he's at your gaff. Played 20 times with Portsmouth in 21-23 season.
Yeah, I mean, like Stockport seems to do some shrewd business. So the fact that he's gone to them gives you a little bit of hope.
He's a good, obviously, when you signed him, I thought this is a good signing. And then
I personally don't know too much about him. Like I said, I was a little bit like you. I was looking through the comments and they were a little bit mixed. So it's really hard to sort of gauge the signing. Obviously, I listened to Robbie on him, which, he sounded quite upbeat about him. So, I mean, I'm just looking forward to see how he does, really.
He'll be dynamic no matter what.
And hopefully magnificent.
Magnificent and dynamic. Right, on to yesterday's game, Sean. Your thoughts on the game?
Frustrating. Really frustrating. Thought we started the game really well. Should have been 2 or 3 goals up before they got the penalty. And I just think, we're back to where we've been most of the season. Played well, not taking our chance, not fully taking our chances, and it's cost us in the end.
Yeah, obviously we spoke about in the week the comments from Robbie saying about Ricardo Reis that obviously there's a lot of pressure on the lad's shoulders, especially this is the highest he's played as well. So, not
Yeah.
too much pressure. But 5 minutes in, I still question why the keeper's rushing out, but still a great finish.
I thought it was. I was the same as you. I thought there was a lot of pressure put onto him for that game, and I thought, given the size of the game that it was, against a sort of a playoff contender, I did worry that maybe it might affect him. But yeah, really quickly, ball over the top, lobs the keeper, excellent finish. I mean, probably sounds a bit horrible, but I'm not sure there's many players in our squad that probably could have pulled that off.
That's a striker's instinct finish. That is somebody who was comfortable with finishing, and I'm not going to take it away from the lad because it was a great finish. I would be asking when my keeper's running out when the defender's still behind him, but you still got to finish it, and he does well.
The problem is Scunthorpe play quite a high line, so I guess your keepers they gamble to try and sweep up anything, but it was kind of he was just in no man's land winning. But like I said, you still got to finish. The balls bounce in, and that pitch was horrible as well.
To
let the ball bounce and then still lob it over, that takes some doing.
It was a death finish. And to be fair, had the keeper stayed on like 6-yard box, I think Reis probably takes a second touch and hammers it in the bottom corner.
Yeah, he
anyway.
probably runs in and then scores. So either way, I think you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah. But shortly after that, Sean Reis hits the post. Started brightly. You was having a party as you was watching because
mate, honestly, when he hit the post, I was just thinking, Christ, he's gonna go on and get a hat-trick here. You just have that sort of feeling. I mean, yeah, he's done so well since he's come in. I mean, obviously he got wrongly sent off, which I wouldn't blame. I don't think anyone blamed him for that. But on his debut, he hit the post twice and missed a 1-on-1, and then he hit the post again after scoring. So it's a broke start. I mean, yeah, he could have already been on like 6 or 7 goals for us easily, and you wouldn't have thought anything otherwise. But I think he's just a nightmare for defences.
Yeah. So are you saying he misses a lot of chances, Sean?
No, he's bedding in, mate. He's bedding in.
He does have another chance, Sean. I like this chance. Is what I think he's probably about. If the ball comes in, he kind of turns the centre half. It takes the shot. The keeper sort of like parries it out. And it was a bit of a calamity moment from Scunthorpe, wasn't it? Because Denton goes to clear it, but hammers it against his own player who was on the line. So it would have been one of those goof moments of own goals. If Forest Green could have doubled their lead there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just what the sort of player that we've been missing. You can go on the half turn and then just get a shot away. And obviously, it's just having someone trying to gamble on it as well. Like we've had it this season where like balls are spilt out. Sorry, excuse me. And no one's gambling on it. And yeah, I mean, we could just do with a little bit of luck. I think we could have done with that, just hitting their player and going in.
Yeah.
We just don't seem to get it.
You had a couple of more chances in the first half, Sean. Mendy had a looping header, which was headed off the line.
Yeah.
Do you know what I liked about this one? Not the fact that Forest Green didn't score, was the fact that Scunthorpe kept a player on the post. You don't see it anymore, do you?
I know. Yeah, you sort of... I saw it and it was kind of like there was nothing in it where it was likely to go in because you could see the player was there. But sometimes the players do run out, don't they? And they didn't. They kept him on the line and he managed to stop it from going in.
Yeah.
Get gutting, really. But like I said, that's 2 or 3 sort of good chances we spoke about already. We haven't got to the penalty yet.
I think the share of the first half, I think Forest Green had miles of better chances. In the 36th minute, disappointing for Rovers to give away a penalty, which Whitehall converts. We've had the discussion. I'm glad my mate Robbie's agreed with me because me and Sean was going, was it a penalty? Was it? And for me, it's a penalty because I think he's clumsy. And you can always tell by the players around you if they think it's a penalty or not. But the Forest Green players didn't really protest, did they?
I think it's one of them where if it's for you, you're shouting for it, and if it's against you, you've like. I personally think it's soft. I think if you're giving them sort of penalties, yes, you could say it was clumsy. I think it was more clumsy that he's given the referee a decision, and I think I said it just a few minutes before that. Scunthorpe were complaining about a free kick in their half that they didn't get, and we went on the attack from it. And I think the referee feels he made a mistake and was trying to make up to the Scunthorpe lot.
That was down by the dugout, which, to be fair, the player should not stop. The Scunthorpe player
that's what I
should
mean.
not
And
stop
I think you could see there was a bit of a thing there, and I reckon that was in the ref's mind when he gave that penalty. Personally, I don't.
We
I think if
about
you're giving them, you're going to be giving 5 a game.
But we talked about it last week, didn't we?
But you're giving the referee a decision, which we probably got to do better there. But
Obviously, you don't like criticising
I
refs,
still don't think
obviously.
it's a penalty. I'm sorry. I think the ref's giving them one there.
I'm not changing my mind. I think it's definitely a penalty, and I generally think that the linesman's helped him as well, because if you watch it, the referee doesn't do what they usually do, quickly blow their whistle on points. He carries on running, then blows, and it was like 2 seconds after.
Yeah. That's what makes me think that he's thinking about this decision before, because he's thinking, right, I got one wrong. I'm going to get this. I'm going to give him this. And
I asked Robbie the question last week.
You get the penalty.
I asked Robbie the question last week, didn't I, on the pod, about, do you think that referees, levels things up? But I would hope a referee wouldn't go and give a massive, for a foul on the halfway line. I would hope he wouldn't try and level it up by giving away a penalty, because that's two different things I'm talking about.
Yeah, it is. But I also think it's in their head that they've made a mistake, so now they've got a.
They're human, aren't they? It's human nature.
So
if you think you've
part of them, they think,
erred
I've made a mistake earlier on. I'm going to have to try and sort of get it right, and sometimes you can panic. I'm not saying he may not have given it.
They probably don't even realise they're doing it. It's subconscious, isn't it? If they think that
I just think it's soft.
Done one side, done them down unfairly, then it's just human nature.
To be fair, I think a few FGR fans said it was a penalty. I just think it's soft.
I would be calling for it all day.
I'd call for it. I wouldn't expect to get it. I wouldn't. I mean, you look at, like Fred, you look at some of the decisions we've had turned against us. The one at Brackley, where Knowlesy gets clipped, no penalty. And then obviously you're probably going to bring it up now.
Let's go on to the
next one.
Yeah, next one. Like, it was literally 3 minutes after the ball came in. The first thing I thought was penalty, but oddly, they didn't show a replay of it. At first, I thought, "Oh, that's a penalty." My facial expressions was like, "Oh,
yeah." I thought it was a stonewall penalty. He's not going to go down. I'm sorry, he isn't going to go down if he hasn't been touched. Again, it's just another decision that, like I said, hasn't gone our way. And I thought that definitely looked more of a penalty than what they got at the other end. But it's one of them. You haven't got it, so you've got to just carry on. But I think that's where I'm not going to blame the referee because we had chances, but it's hard when you're getting decisions, I think, against you like that.
The thing is, I know Robbie gets a lot of stick, but what I do like about Robbie in his post match, he is quite fair, and he did turn around and say, "Look, I thought it was a penalty." He said, "But then Halifax should have had a penalty. Halifax shouldn't have had a goal disallowed." So he's trying to say, like, yes, I think it's a penalty, but these things do even salve out, which I thought was quite good for Robbie to come out and say that, rather than being like some bitter managers and it's just only seen one way. Like,
to be fair, I think he does that most games. Like, when you listen to him, I think he does try to be fair. Obviously, yeah, we've been on a bit of a poor run, so I think it's hard for him to, sometimes they say stuff and people jump on it like he's being bitter. But I mean, yeah, he gave a good interview yesterday, and like you said, he touched on the Halifax goal and what have you. So I think that shows you what he was trying to get at and what he was saying. But yeah, I do feel sorry for him. I genuinely do feel sorry for him, because he has had a lot of stick, and he's had it. You know, we've had a good start. Expectations have gone high, and I think now, like, yeah, you're getting there's a lot of talk. You know, like you see a lot of fans moaning and that on Twitter, and I think I'm not trying to change the subject here, but I just think everyone just needs to stick together and pull through it. I think we got a cracking side. I think we got cracking players, and what we had at the start of the season, the only way we're going to get that back is by getting behind them. I try not to let my emotions out on X. Sometimes that's easier said than done.
You use all your credits up on X tweeting about Cheltenham.
You sure about that, Sean?
Yeah, I try not to. Like, I try and remain as positive as I can.
The thing
I
is,
dread to think what you're like when you're not trying.
But you're a football fan, and you know football fans have opinions. They may not always be right, but I've said it many times before. On a Saturday, I would sack a manager every Saturday, and on a Sunday, I'd be back on the phone. To
The only ones I will go at is the referee, really, and I think they deserve it.
Anyway, let's jump onto the second half, where most of the action pretty happened in terms of goals. So Scunthorpe take the lead in the 50th minute. It was a tidy finish on the edge of the area, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit gutting. I mean, you could be a bit more critical, but sometimes you just gotta take it on the chin and then go again. I thought, did we deserve to be losing? Probably not, but I just think, you know, they're at home, they know how to play the pitch. We just got to go again. Really, I was just gutted to go behind. Like I said, it's hard because you're thinking about all the chances that we've just spoke about, and then you're losing 2-1, and you just think, how?
But it didn't take you too long to get back into it, Sean. Gilly Biabu, Rifles home, really good finish. Really good finish.
Excellent finish, to be fair. And, you know, he's a cracking player. He's been sort of playing left back for us. Obviously brought in Elijah Morrison, so it's pushed him up a little bit. And I think even the Scunthorpe fans were quite impressed with the wingers. Like Gilly, I think he's unbelievable. I think if you keep him on your side and keep him happy, I think he's an unbelievable player, and that was a great finish.
But he's had a good week. He had an assist against Altrincham. He scored yesterday. But I was listening to Robert's post match, and you know, again, it's all about opinion. But I thought that he said about Mendy in the second half really gone. I thought Woko was your best player in the second half. He got on the ball and he was when Forest Green were on the ball, he was dictating the play and he was getting the ball out wide to Gilly and setting things off. But you know, like I said, after that goal, you made it 2-2. There was that little bit of a period where Rovers were starting to get back into the game, and I thought it was all coming through Woko.
Yeah, he looks a good little player, actually. Obviously, Robbie spoke quite highly of him. I think there was a moment just after where he had a chance to shoot, but he didn't. I don't know, because he's more of like a defensive-minded player, isn't he? So I think some midfielders will take on a shot, but he looks a good player. But yeah, again, he's a young lad, isn't he? So and he's new. I mean, this a few changes have come in the last sort of few weeks, and you're sort of just trying to settle in, I guess, as well. But he does look a good little player. So hopefully he just gets better as it goes on.
He would have learned a lot at Glanford Park yesterday because, as you said, the pitch was atrocious. I know, and before any fans start turning around and saying, I know that up north they get a damn sight lot more rain than what we do down here, so the pitches do rip up quite easy up there. You know, you look at what's been happening at Rochdale, and you just look at in the Football League, every time you go north, the pitches always seem to be worse than they are down south. But he'll learn a lot from that, being, you know, having to get the ball down and play on those sort of pitches.
Mind you, though, you say that. I mean, Carlisle have got quite a nice pitch.
They've also got a multi-millionaire like you, Sean, so they've had their pitch done.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess, but Scunthorpe have been up in the Championship and whatever, haven't they? So you sort of, I mean, I know that was a long time ago, but
yeah, it was, and like I said,
you'd still sort of expect the pitch to be better than that. But I guess it's probably a reality check of where they are, and where they've been, what they've been through.
It looked more
With
to
no
me
money.
like it was a pitch that hadn't been relayed in the summer, and it might be because they've come from the Conference North, and like you said, they're working their way back up through in finance. Yeah, they've been in they've had financial trouble over the last few years. I know they're
That's what I mean. I guess it's a reality of where they are.
Yeah,
You know, you don't have the money to go in, upkeep the pitch like some. But again, you know, I thought as bad as the pitch was, I thought we did all right. You know, I thought we did quite well.
I thought
So,
both teams done well to keep the ball on the floor as much as they did, because it was atrocious.
you know, they're a good side. You know, they come to our place earlier on in the season, and they looked really good for, like, I thought the first 15, 20 minutes there. They were one of the best teams I think we'd faced. And then they got like an early goal, and they just sort of seemed to sort of sit back then, and it was like all us. But yesterday, like, you know, it was the other way around. We sort of started quickly, and, you know, I think we did all right considering the state of the pitch. I thought we did okay. Well, better than okay. I thought we did well. It was just, like I said, it was just disappointing to come out on the losing side of it.
Yeah, well, it would obviously Rovers had a chance. Sean, it hit the bar. He was actually come off their own player. He heads it against the bar, but pretty much straight away they go at the other end, and they go 3-2 up.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Yeah, you don't know what to say after that. Like, you've hit the underside of the bar, another inch, and that goes in, and you're 3-2 up, and then you go at the other end, and and you're suddenly 3-2 down. Just like I said, it's just a story of our season. But you just got to keep plugging away and just keep going and trying to change it somehow.
Yeah,
But I mean, we need a little bit of luck, which we don't seem to be getting.
well, obviously the one thing Scunthorpe did really well is they seen the game out well. I thought they'd done that really, really well. But it's now 1 win in 6, Sean, 7 points off the top. You can see in the league.
The league's going to be tough, mate. Yeah. I've never changed my prediction. I've said it all season long. Like, York for me are the strong favourites. 74 or 75 goals they've already scored by January. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. They've been together for a couple of seasons now. They're a lot more established in what they're doing.
Let's be fair as well, because, you know, sorry giving you guys stick. York have had a lot of money pumped into them as well, mine. You know, they've got
they have.
Fan.
I mean, you know, I've said it on numerous occasions. That's football. Like, people talk about money. That is football. Like, I know not every team's got it, but you look all down the pyramid from Man City, you know, down to the National League, and even down to probably the Southern League. Like Dave said, like Farnborough, is it? You know, they've had a bit of money. Was it Farnborough you said?
Farnham have got
Farnham,
money.
that's it.
Yeah.
Farnham, sorry.
Walton and Hersham aren't sort of a few bob.
That's what I mean. So and I was looking. I saw actually. Is it Hednesford or Hensford or whatever?
Like, they've got like electric.
Have you saw their starting lineup?
I know,
for the level that they're at.
Well, they just signed. What's his name, haven't they?
Liam Kinsella.
Kinsella. They're a wasp with money.
Yeah, and then I was looking at the someone put
Chris Hussey. They've got
someone put in the thing. Imagine having these players in your starting lineup, and I was looking at it. I was
taking
thinking,
a few players off.
That's what I mean. Like,
you know,
everyone talks about it, and it's all right having money and what have you. But a lot of teams have got it. Like I said, you look in the National League, and you've got Rochdale, Carlisle, York. York, like I said, are a lot more established than we are. They built for a couple of seasons now, and I mean, you look at them last season, and they were pretty strong, and they seem to have gone to another level this season. Obviously, they've taken on Stuart Maynard, and they're just scoring goals for fun. I think it's mental. They're on like 75 already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
as we've said, football is all about money now, and it doesn't matter who
but
you are.
Like I said, they're more established than we are, and like I said earlier, you look at even teams like Boreham Wood and Scunthorpe. Their teams were built last season in the National League North and south, and so they're in a much better place, probably in the way of like players, team gelling and what have you. So
You are now starting to sound a bit like Robbie Savage, Sean. You've been talking to him or what? Right. Obviously we've covered a lot of what Robbie said in the post match. So
They were
I think
magnificent.
magnificent. Yeah, he did say that actually.
it was just good to see him a bit more upbeat.
I got that. He seemed a bit more upbeat yesterday.
After Scunthorpe, it's like he's reevaluated everything. He's probably spoke to people, and he was a lot more upbeat, which is good. And that's why I said to you, I think as fans, it is tough, and it's tough for Robbie and the players and what have you. And we just got to get behind them, just keep going, just get through it. We've got a tough run coming up. It ain't time for trying to get any negativity now.
It gives me stick. He always does. It gives me stick a bit. I was on way off it, but it's how you see the game. Like
we're not starting a Robbie 8 movement just yet.
No. Only some of the fans on X Robbie, but I think you're safe for another 2 seasons. But no, thanks for that, Sean. Let's go on to Chris at Cheltenham Town. Chris, before you talk about the game yesterday, in the week, it was announced that we signed Cole Deeman. What was your thoughts on that?
I mean, it was a bit of a mixed reception, I think, from fans. He did well at Truro. He scored against Forest Green, which automatically gets him in my good books. Although scoring against Forest Green isn't very difficult, but there we go. He's really, really well thought of at his parent club. So yeah, it looked like a solid signing in an area that we needed a body. I was pleased with the sign personally.
Yeah. One thing I did notice yesterday, he's just turned 19. He is a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got. Cotts said he's got. Well, Mark Halliwell, bless him. I tried basically calling him fat, but no. Cotts corrected him and said he's got broad shoulders, and yeah, he is a big lad. And I think he's definitely still got filling out into his frame to do. So he'll only grow a bit more.
Yeah. Well, before we get on to yesterday's game, we'll have a quick listen to Pete Matthews. I will apologise to Pete. I did listen to last week's podcast, and for some reason, halfway through your message, it cuts out. I don't know what happened there, but hopefully this week it'll be a bit better. But this is what Pete had to think about the game.
Another Saturday, same old story for Cheltenham, I'm afraid. The Robins definitely created more than enough chances to have probably won, certainly drawn the game. They were undone by 2 very different goals. A remarkable long-range shot from Kieran Green. Yes, he had plenty of space, but even so, that ball was travelling when it went into the back of the net. Might have been wind-assisted, but one of the harder hit shots I've seen for a while. The second goal, well, bit of a mix-up, really. A hopeful ball in from the Grimsby Town right. It bounced in the penalty area. It was meant for Cook, and somehow it ended in the back of the Cheltenham Town net. But Cheltenham had so many chances, really. Jordan Thomas created havoc in the first half. George Miller had a very good chance. Cole Deeming, who I thought did really well on his debut, hit the outside of the post and fired another one just over the bar. The best chance of the lot fell to Rob Cundy in the second half from Luke Young's good ball in. Cundy couldn't quite adjust his feet, and the chance went. Cheltenham clearly are in desperate need of reinforcements at the top end of the pitch. That's not surprising. Since the beginning of January, they've lost Isaac Hutchinson, Ethan Archer, and Haki Badelica. Any team would struggle losing those 3 players. And at the time of them leaving, that wasn't far off 50% of Cheltenham's goals in League and FA Cup. I'm absolutely sure stuff will happen before the transfer window ends, which is Monday, the 2nd of February. But in the meantime, keep the faith. This Cheltenham team have definitely got something about them. And with a few more enforcements, they will be fine.
Brilliant. Thank you, Pete. Do you agree with that, Chris?
I can't. I've got nothing to add. It's a perfect summary. Couldn't agree anymore.
Yeah, no, agree. Right, so let's go on to the game, Chris. Awful start. Like we talked about, I think, on last week's pod. We either concede early, concede just after half time, or may concede late. But 5 minutes in on the clock, absolute worldie of a goal. A bit disappointed we didn't close them down.
Yeah, Deeming had a quiet start to the game, and it was his man. He got attracted towards the ball, unfortunately, which left their lad with so much space. He did try closing him down, but he was never getting there. And what that was.
Yeah, thank Chris. Yeah, it was a great goal. So yeah, great strike. From then on, though, the game turned in Cheltenham. Cheltenham were on top when everything happened through Thomas. It was corners.
Thomas was outstanding for a half an hour. He was absolutely outstanding. Everything good came through Thomas. He created numerous opportunities, but we couldn't put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, they done the typical their goalkeeper goes down. And that completely changed the complexion of the game, and something really needs to be done about goalies going down. And I know it works both ways. We'd do it if we wanted to make tactical changes, but something needs to be done about it because it ruins games, it ruins momentum. And I know that's why they do it, but it is, and I don't use this word lightly, it is outright cheating. It is, and I had the conversation with someone next to me at the game yesterday, and I said, when we've said it before, they have to start going. If the goalkeeper goes down, you have to
play. A player goes off for a minute.
A centre half,
job done.
A centre half, not a striker, not a midfielder. A centre half goes off for the 30 seconds, and it has stopped teams doing it because, especially if you're on top and then you lose a centre half for 30 seconds to a minute. Then it might stop.
Yeah, if any outfield player on the pitch goes down and receives treatment, they have to go off the pitch. Why is it different for a goalkeeper? Send another player off the pitch.
Yeah, I agree. It has to happen because it's happened a lot this season. But on the flip side, I do also think that we need to have a plan B, knowing that the way we start sometimes, and Jordan Thomas, I know opposition teams will know about Jordan Thomas, but I think sometimes they might be shocked like yesterday because he was outstanding, wasn't he? That Thursday.
Oh yeah. For that half hour period, Jordan Thomas was unplayable.
He was brilliant.
Absolutely unplayable. He could have been playing for a team in the top 2 tiers of football. He was that good.
His low gravity is so good when he gets the ball in the way.
Do you mean low centre of gravity?
Centre of gravity, not low gravity. His centre of gravity is so good when he gets the ball. And players just can't cope with it.
He does things that I don't think are actually possible to do.
At this level.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we got to find a way of coming back at that, haven't we? When they change, we've got to be able to change straight away.
Yeah.
And Chris, just a quick question: the dark arts of the game, as we're talking about this, do you think we got to be a little bit better of it? There was a time in the first half where we had a free kick and we wanted to take it quickly, and their player stood basically where
kick it at him.
Exactly, and we're just putting our hands up at the referee, but we've had bookings
kick
in the
it at him.
past.
Give the ref no choice.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Simple.
But I just think we got to be a little bit more streetwise with that, but maybe we're just a little bit too nice. Cheltenham had their first real chance when the new boy Demon hits the post. You said it took a deflection.
It was deflected, definitely.
So that must have been
their defender gets across and it hits the bottom of his foot. And do you know what? And I'm going to say this, and I'll get a lot of stick for this, I think. But if that shot was taken by Isaac Hutchinson, it goes in.
I think that's a bit unfair. I think that's a bit unfair. I think
I think that's the luck that Isaac Hutchinson gets.
Yeah,
That a new player that is on his debut, he ain't going to get that luck. But yeah, it was. Look, after the second half, Demon was very good. He was very good.
He was playing for the first 20 minutes, wasn't he?
Yeah. He definitely grew into the game. That chance, I wouldn't expect him to score that.
If it takes
it's a half chance at best.
If it's a deflection, Chris, is it fair to say that it was going in because it goes?
It was going the other side of the goal for me, and it deflects and hits the post and comes out. Like I said, if Hutchinson hits that, the luck that Hutchinson got, it probably goes in.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree on that one.
That's absolutely fine, mate. I can't wait for the stick.
Yeah, mute your ex from about 2:00 today, Chris. Demon has another chance shortly after, but this one just goes over. This is where we said he was getting into the game, wasn't he? And he was finding those pockets.
Yeah, and he was. It was a great position that he took up just on the edge of the box. And he reacted to it really quickly, and he got onto the ball really quickly. He just leans back at the last second, and it just goes over. I thought it might have grazed the bar,
Is that the one you messaged
but I don't think it did. Yeah. I think it might have grazed the bar, but I don't. I have seen it back, and I don't think it does.
Right. Okay. But the best chance for Cheltenham in the first half comes to Miller. He's 12 yards out, nobody around him, and Chris, tell me, how is he not scored?
A fit George Miller scores that comfortably. He's not fit, and he's got a knock. We all know he's got a knock. He said it himself in his pre-match. A fit and sharp George Miller scores that every day of the week, but it was so poor. He just basically passed it back to the keeper.
He's just got to put it either side because he's that.
Yeah. A yard either side is a goal.
Yeah, I was. But honestly, like I say,
yeah, he's got to score, mate. He's got to score, and it was so frustrating because we my opinion is we should have won that game. That's my opinion. I think we should have won that
100%.
And if that goes in, we win that game. For me,
it goes in. We go in 1-0 down at half time. So the second half, Cheltenham started where they left off. It was on the front foot, but the same old story. The ball comes in, and again we say about George Miller's chance, but Cundi's is even worse. He's 5 yards out, and it is harder to put it around the post than it is in the goal.
I can forgive him a little bit because he's a centre back, but
he's still a football player, isn't he?
He's still a professional football player, and that is it's basically an open goal with a man stood there. That if it's on target, it's in.
But he just does so well to get it.
Oh yeah,
that way.
The ball in. By the way, that ball in by Luke Young is absolute quality. It's a great ball in. And Cundy, I don't really know what Cundy's doing with his feet. Whether he got a push or whether he got something, I don't know. But his feet. It was almost like Bambi on ice. And again, I'll probably get stick for that. But he just couldn't sort his feet out. And instead of just side-footing it in the back of the net, I think it comes off some part of his leg and just goes out for a throw-in, I think it went.
Yeah, it was. Again, like I always say where I sit, I think I've got a really good seat at Wadham Road. And I was elevated, looking down on it, and it was just.
It's a goal. It's the golden chance of all golden chances.
Yeah, but
there we go.
Moments later, probably the biggest talking point of the game. Do you think we should have had a penalty? I thought it was a stone ball. No. I thought it hits his hand. If it does, it
does. It does hit his hand, but he hasn't.
It's underneath his.
I think we're thinking about a different incident because he was on the floor.
I'm not talking about the Cundy one. After I'm talking about the ball was put in, and I think it's Bickerstaff who's running onto it. He's getting about 6-7 yards out, maybe 6 yards.
Yeah,
and the lad comes in, but it doesn't get to Bickerstaff because it's the underside of his hand and bounces down and then goes.
I didn't get a particularly good view of it, mate. So it would be wrong of me to say yes or no, because I didn't get a good enough view. I'm happy to go with the majority, but if it means anything, I wasn't calling for a penalty. because I didn't really see it.
Yeah, the old Walden Road were literally absolutely shouting as loud as they could. To me, it was a stone wall. Again, one of those ones, you got VAR, it's given within probably about 10 seconds of going to VAR.
Okay.
Wow, that's probably a bit too thing, probly about 5 minutes of going to VAR.
Yeah, about 15 minutes.
But the one you're on about, Chris, the one you did see was the Cundy one, which he asked the referee the question. To me, I was like, no, he looks like he just jumps over the swing of the boot. And what was your thoughts?
No, I didn't think it was. Yeah, there's not a lot more I can say, really.
Yeah. 15 minutes from time, Cabia cross goes all the way into the box in the back of the net. I wasn't very applaudic, if you like, of Joe Day.
There's only one goalie in that league that ball goes in against, and that's Joe Day.
Yeah, it was. It was. I like.
Dave, stop smiling, mate.
I like Joe Day. I really do. He's a
No, I do. He's made some really, really good saves for us this season, but he's also let in some absolute howlers, and that's 2 in 2 weeks now.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. He's there's always seems to be one mistake a game in him, and whether that's for the lack of concentration or the fact that, let's not beat around the bush. He was brought in as a goalkeeper coach and a backup, but ended up becoming number one. And I think Steve Cottrell knows this, but we'll get on to his thoughts in a minute. But he did say after the game, when asked by Mark Halliwell, are you looking to bring a goalkeeper in? Because he talked about getting Diallo out on loan. But as he said, it's not my priority at the moment. We got
no, and I've said this quite a lot on social media, because everyone says bring in a goalie. We're not going to. I'm sorry, but we're not going to. In the summer we will, yes, I think. But right now, it's not what we need. We don't need a goalie. Joe Day is perfectly capable.
Yeah.
Until the end of the season. But at the end of the season, let's not forget, he's not a spring chicken anymore. In fact, his jumping isn't great as well. But there you go. He's not young.
No.
I know goalies can go on a bit longer than...
How old is he?
36, 30, I think he'll be 36 next year. Yeah.
35.
35, he'll be 36 next year.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we need to use him for his purpose next season. He can be a backup, yes, but we need to bring in a first choice.
He's 36 in August.
There you go.
Yeah.
So 36 next season then, yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't want to be too critical of him, but the thing is with a striker.
No, he like I say, he has made a lot of really, really good saves, and he's a perfectly capable goalkeeper at this level, but he's got a mistake in him. He doesn't like a bouncing ball, and his jumping isn't great. So we need a number one next season.
And it's easy for us to sit here as well to completely blame him, Chris, isn't it? And say, but over the last 2 games, we've talked about the chances we missed, and maybe.
Well, in fairness, mate, the cross shouldn't come in the first place. Number one, and number 2, Cundy's positioning was poor. But Cook doesn't get there. It's a routine stop. But there you go.
It is.
We create far too many chances. I sound like Robbie Savage now, and I hate that. But we created so many chances in that game to win 2 games, I think.
That's it. If we're going to be critical of Joe Day, we've got to be critical of our...
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So...
And to go on the bringing a goalie in, I agree with Cottrell. That is not the position we need. We need 2 signings. We need a striker and we need a winger.
Yeah. So Cole Deeman gets the sponsors man of the match.
I don't think he was, but there you go.
No, I kind of agree with you, because at first I was like, but then I thought obviously I would probably give it to Thomas, but after they nullified him, I think Deeman, the one thing I noticed off the ball with Deeman, he was really good. He was pulling off and finding pockets and stuff like that. And he was, wasn't anything spectacular, but what we've done well.
Yeah, look, it was a solid debut. It was a good debut after a rocky first 20 minutes. I say rocky, that's harsh.
It wasn't in the game.
After a quiet first 20 minutes. He showed that he's got the quality that is needed to play at this level. He showed that he's not afraid to get stuck in a tackle. I don't think we really saw a range of passing from him. But I'm sure that will come in time. And we don't really play big, long, sprayed balls all over the place anyway. We tend to play a bit shorter when we actually play football and not hoof it long.
Did he remind you a little bit, Chris? Did he remind you a little bit of an Isaac Hutchinson? Because he's got that.
No.
He's tall. He's got that floppy.
Didn't remind me of Hutchinson at all, really.
But he did
completely different style of play. I think
he got dragged.
Hutchinson deliberately.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He got dragged.
Yeah, he got pulled at half time. Yeah. Hutchinson. I'm not full well he's going to be forward and at the top end of the pitch.
I'm not talking about
whereas
I'm talking about stature of player. Like
stature, yes. In stature, yes.
My
similar.
postman reminds me of Hutchinson in that case. He's quite tall as well.
Yeah, but on the pitch they're completely different. Hutchinson is definitely get forward, whereas Deeming I can see as being he'll hold back a little bit more.
But he's been brought in with the number 8.
Although he did pop up on the top at the edge of the box once or twice. So I think he will. I think he'll do well. Will he get lots of assists? Probably not. But will he score a few goals? Maybe.
Yeah, he's been brought in as a number 8. So and obviously Hutchinson was theoretically a number 10, but was played at number 8 as well. So. We'll see. Hey, let's not put too much pressure on the lad. He's only just turned 19.
And Cott said he's an 8 or a 6, so he's not a going forward type player. But like I said, he did pop up on the edge of the box. He did score against Forest Green.
Did Cott say 6?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or on the wing, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was an 8, or he could play anywhere.
It's an 8 or 6, or on the wing.
Yeah. I struggle to see him as a 6, maybe because of his thing, but hey, Cott's has managed over 1,000 games, and so it might a question. On to Cott's thoughts. Another game we played well. Disappointed we didn't get anything, but it's coming to the same old story. Sean's mentioned it a couple of times. Are we concerned that we haven't brought the players in? But we've missed out on players. We know that, but there's irons in the fire, which will drop next week.
We've still got 9 days.
Yeah, but we did play.
I'm not worried if we don't manage to bring in a striker and a winger, or maybe if we don't bring in one of those two, I'd be a bit concerned. But just because I don't really know where the goals are coming from, because Miller is not fit. And he needs to sharpen up, and he needs to lose the little knock he's got. Bickerstaff, bless him, I don't think he's going to score a lot of goals. He'll chip in, but I don't think he's going to score a lot of goals. And we haven't really got anyone else.
No, exactly. And he says the first goal, second, not the first goal, the second goal was a mix up between Cundy and Day. He didn't go mad at him. He just said, he said on another day that doesn't.
I put it down to a goalkeeper error.
Yeah, me too. Could have had 2 penalties, if not definitely one. I think there was definitely one he was referring to was the handball. Like I said, it was definitely a blatant handball. Tough for Demon, but for a young lad, he said he'd done some good things. And
yeah, like I said, I thought he did all right. It wasn't a show-stopping debut, but it was solid enough.
Yeah, he said the lads gave everything, and he said you can tell that because the fans at the end stayed behind and appreciated it. They got properly clapped off because you don't mind losing. And again, if we've talked about Forest Green, you don't mind losing or not picking up points if you can see that there's a performance there, because at one point it's going to turn. Where if you're not,
I'll disagree with you for a little minute there, because I hate losing any game of football. But yes, like we've already said, we created enough to win probably 2 games in that game alone. So you can see that there are positives there. If there are no positives that you can take as a fan, that's when you got a problem.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying.
we had loads of positives.
That's what I'm saying. And, of course, I don't like losing. I'm absolutely evil on a Saturday after losing. But the reality of football, you're going to win games, you're going to lose games. But
Yeah.
if you let's not be around the bush. We've lost our last few, but the performance is there to know that once you add 1 or 2 next week, that things will start turning again. But had we not been playing very well, you're thinking even with players coming in, are they going to get up to speed? So it's just dropping it's replacements, isn't it? We want now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be loan players anyway. I don't think we're going to make any permanent signings. So I'd like to think that they're fit already. They'll need match sharpness and sharpness in men's football, because I can only see us getting youngsters in, unless there is someone in League One struggling for game time, or something like that. But that I would expect them to be fit.
Yeah. So on to the transfer window. He says we've missed out on a couple. He said, but clubs are doing that up and down the country. Asked about the goalkeeper, we've said about that. But what he also said was things happen next week where players we may have not had a chance to get on loan and now opening up who haven't gone out, so we might be able to pick a couple up. I believe that we're waiting on answers on 3 or 4. And those things that happen. But what one thing I just want to say to some fans, because I see a lot of comments online, and what some fans have got to realise is that, and I'm going to say this because I do speak to people, and I know certain things what are going on, which I'll never ever put on socials or even on this pod because it's not fair. But things are happening all the time in the background. The club are missing out on players in the background. The club are going for the right players, but it doesn't matter what money we think Mike Garlick's got. There is other clubs who are 1 bigger than Cheltenham Town, and 2 still got more money than Cheltenham Town and can pay more money. Because don't forget, in the Football League, it is all done by financial fair play. You can only spend 60% of your turnover on wages. Now, Mike Garlick coming in the end of August, so like I said to Sean in our chat, I'll wait until the summer and we'll see how serious this investment is. But let's not sit there and think because it's been quiet. We have brought George Nurse in, we have now brought Demon in, and we've made Jake Bickerstaff a permanent. But let's not think because we have not done what Crawley have done and gone and signed 6 players, or Newport or anything like that. Sean, this is not me digging at you. This is Cheltenham fans who I've seen online, because Sean's brought this up as well. Things are happening in the background, but we will miss out on players. We're not going to automatically be this most attractive club that everybody's going, oh, they've got money, I'm going to go sign for Cheltenham Town. There's still more attractive clubs than us out there who will pay either equal or more than what we pay. And the bottom line is we have missed out on players in this January transfer window. But what I assure people is we are looking at the right players, where we've been there in the past when we got relegated in 2015. Chris, you'll remember this. When we got to January and we were down towards the bottom, we went and signed 8, 9, 10 new players, and some of them were the likes of your Kane Ferdinands and Kane Ferdinand coming after. But you talk about those players, like the names, the players we brought in. Then we were thinking, oh, we got really good. They didn't do nothing because they were just coming in to see themselves through to the end of the season. Now let's just stay calm. Because things are happening, and this week things will drop through. And as Robbie Savage said last week with Forest Green, they was waiting for an answer on a player on Wednesday. He said if that didn't go through, they go to their 2nd, 3rd, 4th player they got on the list. So would you say that's fair, Chris? Do you think some people do panic a bit?
Oh, definitely. And fans, I mean, yeah, but it's human nature, I suppose. I'm not going to blast the fans for panicking, because it is just human nature. They want it, and they want it now. You know what I mean? I'm very level-headed, and I know that we are looking at players, and I know that we are waiting for answers on players, And so I'm not going to panic. If it comes to the window closing and we haven't brought in a striker or a winger, that's when I'll get concerned that we might not score enough goals.
Yeah, and that has been evident, hasn't it, over the last two games.
But what I will say is we're 10 points above the relegation zone, and I honestly think we only need 10 more points to be safe.
Yeah, because at the moment,
because I don't see Newport picking up 21 points.
No, at the moment we need to lose 3, and the teams below us need to win 3. And you're right, Chris, because we've talked about performances, haven't we? And the performance is there just to add to. If we was playing poorly, it was at the beginning of the season, I'd be worried.
Oh yeah. If we were still playing the way we were at the start of the season, we wouldn't have anywhere near the amount. In fact, we'd be bottom of the league, I think. So yeah, but no, look, we're such a better team than we were even just at the start of this season. I'm not worried about us going down at all. Even if we don't sign a striker and a winger, I'm not worried.
You're going down if you look at the state of Bristol Rovers. I think honestly, I think they're the ones that are going to go down. Newport will stay up.
Sean,
you reckon Bristol Rovers and Harrogate?
I reckon Bristol Rovers and Harrogate. Yeah,
that's a good shape. Good shape.
Yeah, I don't mind that shout actually, Sean. For once,
well, you look at Isaac Hutchinson yesterday, right? He gets ripped off at halftime. This is a player who was enjoying his football, scoring goals, assisting. He's brought back, played 12 minutes in the first game, and ripped off at halftime yesterday. That poor bloke, because he made it public. He wanted to stay at Cheltenham. It wasn't nothing that he hated Bristol Rovers fans or anything like that. He was enjoying his football. I don't think Bristol Rovers play the style of football that suits.
Steve Evans definitely doesn't play the style of football Hutchinson would like.
To be fair as well, if you look at the players that he chucked on the bench yesterday, he had Southwood on the bench, that Camille Conte on the bench. Now, they were really big players a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
He's like, I was looking through some of their comments. And
Tell you what, I definitely have Southwood back.
Oh. Their fans were just saying about how poor they look, like Steve Evans hasn't really changed anything. He's come in, there's no new manager back. They are signing very much like when we was in League Two and we were struggling to pick up anything, and we swapped the manager and we still didn't seem to be on any sort of run. When Cheltenham obviously took Steve Cottrell on, they went on that little bit of a run, didn't they? And they pulled away.
Yeah.
Whereas Bristol Rovers just look an absolute mess. I genuinely think Newport will stay up.
I think that's a good shout, Sean. I don't
mind that shout at all.
Yeah. I generally don't.
But no, I'm not worried about us going down at all, regardless of anything. I don't think we are in any danger of going down.
So just to finish on Cheltenham, then we talked about Isaac Hutchinson. Do you see any chance that maybe something might happen this week, especially with what's happened over the weekend?
Not with Isaac, no.
No,
unfortunately not. I think Steve Evans has seen how well he plays when he's played in the right way and is happy, and he doesn't want another club to have that player.
Yeah, but he's all in this week. He's also going to want to be bringing players in, and they've got to get players out. So maybe I don't think it's going to be a case.
Don't get me wrong. Now we've brought Deeming in, I can't see it.
I think if he did come back, I don't think it's going to be a case of Cheltenham ringing Steve Evans. I think it might be a case of Bristol Rovers ringing Cheltenham and saying we're open to do that deal. Because he can't go anywhere else. He's played for Cheltenham and Bristol Rovers this season. So Steve Evans is going to be panicking this week, knowing that what he's got so far is not working. So it might change. Let's watch this space. It's going to be a busy week. We'll have a lot of transfer talk on next week's pod. That's for sure. Right. Thank you, Chris.
Well, it might only last 2 hours next week.
Yeah. Well, we're under at the moment. We could get 2 hours.
Touch and go.
To be fair, you're both playing twice, so it probably will be.
Christ.
As well, yeah, Gloucester, yeah, both could be. Right, thanks, Chris. Thanks for that.
Cheers, mate.
So, Sean, over to you for scores on the doors.
Next up is Talk of the County's Prediction League and scores on the doors by Sean Baker.
Yeah, it's a good week for Chris, to be fair. Don't say that very often.
Needed it.
So I think, where did I write it down? I got +2. Dan got +2. Dave got +3. And Chris got +4. So
you don't get it very often, Chris, so you got to have it this week.
I'm probably going to get some pelters from Mal on Twitter when this goes out later, because I've put myself on top on 44 and Dave top on 44. Although I guess if you look at alphabetical order, Dave should go above.
Yeah, please.
Dave's top of the league. Dave, you hit the summit.
Yeah, I was bottom, but.
And then Dan, you're now third on 43. Me and Dave are on 44. And Chris is on 38, so he's creeping up there slowly.
So what was the correct score, Sean, this weekend, or like results?
So Chris got Gloucester v Tiverton right, 3-1.
Yeah.
Dan, you said 5-0. I said 3-0. Dave said 4-1. So we all got a point, and Chris got the 3. Cheltenham v Grimsby. You and Chris went for a 1-1 draw. Dave went 3-1. I went 2-1. So me and Dave got a point there. Scunthorpe, you all went for a Scunthorpe win. Got lucky. I went for a Forest Green win.
That's because you go with your heart, Sean.
Luck's not on our side, mate. And then none of us got anything for Forest Green and Altrincham because we all went for a good old Iden to Altrincham, and they managed to blag it. Although saying that, they beat Bournemouth yesterday as well, mine. So
3-1, yeah.
They've just turned a corner.
Exactly. Right, thanks, Sean. So let's go with the games coming up this week. So on Tuesday night, Cheltenham are at home to Gillingham, and they're a tough game. Head-to-head, there's been 18. Cheltenham have won 4. Gillingham have won 4, and there's been 10 draws between the two clubs. Last time out was 1-1 in October at the Priestfield. Chris, what's your thoughts and your prediction?
It's a really tough one because they're a really mixed bag, Gillingham. They've just won 2 on the bounce, but they've lost 2 in the last 5 and drawn 2 of the last 5. So they're a real mixed bag. They're really hard to predict. We're not in great form, it's got to be said. I think it's under the lights at Wadden Road, isn't it? Yeah. So I think it'll be 1-1. I was going to go 0-0, but I'm going to go 1-1.
Dave?
1-1, yeah.
Sean?
Chris, you had one good week and you've let yourself down already, mate. I'm going to go...
behave yourself, mate.
I'm going to go 2-0. I don't know if Cheltenham a score, maybe 2-0. 2-0 Gillingham.
I think we're only 90 minutes away of giving someone a battering with the chances we've been having.
6.
We already have, mate. We've already given someone a battering.
We have, true, mate. Yeah.
What did Dave say?
1-1. I was going to go 1-1, but I'm going to change my mind. And I think Chris has just made me feel the Tuesday night under the lights. I'm going to go 2-1 Cheltenham.
What was that?
2-1 Cheltenham. And then on to Saturday, Cheltenham travel up to Lancashire to play Accrington. Head-to-head between these two, there's been 24. Cheltenham have won 9. Accrington have won 7. There's been 8 draws. Last time out was a 1-0 win in September. That was only Michael Flynn's only league victory this season. Chris, your thoughts and predictions?
So when I saw Accrington, they looked really, really poor. However, they don't seem to concede many goals. We don't seem to score many goals. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Cheltenham win.
Okay. Dave?
Oh, by the way, I'm going to add to that. New signing's going to score on his debut.
I'm going to go 1-1 again, I think.
Sean?
Might go 1-0 Accrington. Just to go different, because I know Dan's going to go for a Cheltenham win. And I want to pull away on the top.
Well,
You're not on the top.
To be fair, they've turned a bit of a corner, haven't they? When you last played them, they were shocking.
Yeah, just a correction there, Sean. Dave's top, not you, mate.
Yeah, you can't pull away when you're not top, mate.
Dave's only just caught up, though, so I was already there. Do you know what I mean? And then
it don't matter if the season
So what you mean, Sean, is you got caught, yeah?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, because if the season finished today, Dave's the champion.
Yeah.
Accrington, I think Accrington are in really good form. They've only lost 2 of their last 6, and they've been very hard to beat. They had a really good draw at Walsall yesterday, 0-0. I'm actually going to go with a 1-1. Right, so on to Forest Green, the only biggest club in non-league, still to be in the FA Trophy, which surprises me. Well, Southend are in it, to be fair, but all the other title contenders have pulled out.
Yeah, Southend are tiny, though.
8,000 every week sounds different. So you got Wealdstone, Sean at home. Head-to-head, there's been 3. Forest Green have never beaten them. There's been 1 win for Wealdstone and 2 draws. Last time out was a 1-1 in November. What's your predictions and thoughts on the game?
I'm just trying to have a quick look at something.
No rush.
No, that's all right. I think Wildstone, we struggle against normally, but we've done all right in the FA Trophy, so I'm going to go 2-1.
Okay, Chris.
They're mid-table, so I'll drop me.
Wilson are in really, really bad form. They did win their last game, but they've lost 4 of the previous 5. So with that in mind, I'm going to go with a 2-1 Wealdstone win.
Dave?
I'm going to continue my theme and go 1-1. Penalty shootout.
Dave, you're boring.
I know. Guess what my Gloucester prediction is?
7-0.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 Forest Green win. It won't be Ricardo Reese, because he's probably cup tied, isn't he?
Oh yes. Oh no. Yeah.
Do your own work, Sean.
No, I completely forgot. Yeah, it's FA Trophy. I'm still going 2-1. We're not losing.
Robbie Savage with a last minute penalty. Right, on to Gloucester. Really tough one, Dave, on Tuesday night away at Warner. They have lost their last 2. There's been head-to-head 3. Wharton have won 1. Gloucester have won none. There's been 2 draws. Last time out was 4-4.
Wow, technically one of those draws we then beat them on penalties.
Yes. But the last time out was 4-4. What was special about this game, Dave?
4-4?
Yeah.
Don't know.
He was 4-0 down at half time and come back.
Oh yeah. That was in the horrendous rain. Yeah, that was a weird game.
Yeah.
Last minute.
Thoughts and predictions?
I'd love us to win it. I think we could lose it. I'm going to go 1-1.
I like that. I should have recorded that snip in. We'll put it in there as a little voiceover every week. Chris?
the form Walton have been in the last couple of games is almost changing my mind. But it's at Walton, so I'm actually gonna go 4-1 to Walton.
4-1 to Walton.
They've got it in them. They've got it in them.
Sean?
I'm going to go 2-1 Gloucester.
Love you, Shauna.
Exactly
I hope you pull away.
That's exactly what I was going to go with. I was going to go with 2-1 Gloucester win down there. I think they're wobbling. Davis is there.
Ellis Watts brace.
Yeah.
And we're Gloucester getting players back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a 2-1 Gloucester I'll go for. And then that leaves us with Shoalin, which is on Saturday. Head to head, there's only been three between them. Gloucester 1-2, Shoalin none, and 1 draw. Dave, predictions and thoughts?
Might go 1-1, I think.
1-1.
I can remember what I do now. I can never remember what I picked, but now it's easy.
You know, I am really shocked, Dave, because you've just gone top of the league and you've literally opened yourself to get absolutely battered this weekend.
Well, I don't know. So, I mean, there might be a couple of 1-1s in there somewhere, might there?
Sean?
Where are Shoalin in the league?
They're just outside the playoffs.
6.
Yeah, right. Bang in there. Bang in the mix.
Do you know what? I might just go 3-1 to Gloucester. I fancy them to be a bit of form again.
Need to.
Chris?
What were your 1-1?
Dave's not going to be happy with me because I'm going to go for 2 Gloucester defeats in a week, and I'm going to go 2-1 Shoalin.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Gloucester. Brilliant. That's a good place to leave it. Thanks for joining us, Sean.
A week off.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers for joining us, Dave.
Absolute pleasure, sir.
Thanks for joining us as always, Chris.
Well done, boys.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube on a weekend where it's grim in front of goal for Cheltenham. Rovers can't break the iron, and our City back in the title race. We'll see you next time.